Bum. Not the happiest of bindies. We do get lasers.
No lasers. No
Parker
lasers.
from the road, from the beautiful Catamaran Resort in Mission Bay, San Diego, giving us lasers the day after a frustrating Dodger loss. Welcome to another edition of the Blue Review, presented by LAX. By the beach, boy. Marcus Grant with Greg Bergman and Parker Bell. Lot to get to today. Greg, we don't get nappy roots today, sadly.
No,
because of the loss.
We're not getting nappy roots ever again, especially because of the loss. But we're gonna go back to the la because nappy roots. Every day that I've played nappy roots, I've had a bad day. And it says we're gonna have a good day.
Yeah,
not gonna. Did not have a good day, so it's gone. I'm cutting it.
Well, that was fun while it lasted.
It did fun. We'll find another one. Don't worry.
Yeah, we will. A lot to get into today. Obviously, we'll talk a little bit about the Dodger loss 5-2 last night. They do not get the sweep in Cincinnati. They win the series, do not get the sweep. But in case you missed it, late last night, the Dodgers were part of a 3-team trade. There are still, as I look at it, let me do some quick math, for about 7.5 hours. Is that right? Until
right, 3 o'clock.
Till the trade deadline hits. Actually, about 6.5 hours. Whatever. Anyway, trade deadline hits 3 o'clock Pacific time today. So still some time for the Dodgers to maybe make some more moves, but they did bring in some other names and said goodbye to at least one very familiar name in the organization. But before you get into that, shout out to LAX, transforming the travel experience, saving guests time. For more information, go to flylax.com/transforminglax. Let's rip the Band-Aid off, Greg. Talk about yesterday, 5-2, the final score. When did you know they were going to lose? Was it when Will Smith didn't score on the Teo single? Was it when they got out of the inning without scoring a run, having bases loaded, 1 out, and not scoring? Or was it when Andy Pages dropped the foul pop-up in left field? When was the exact moment you knew they weren't going to win yesterday?
That last one, the Andy Pages dropping the ball. I mean, it was a really hard play.
It was not an easy play. No, it was a tough play for sure. Yes.
It's a very tough play. I don't fault him at all for dropping it. But, yes, when he dropped that ball, it's like, oh, this is not going to go well. Because Emmett Sheehan was struggling at that point. That was going to get him out of the inning. And then you can move through after that. But, no, that one just kind of killed it. And then right after, James Outman got a glove on a ball too.
Yeah.
He got a glove on a ball that was going to be a home run. He brought it back in to get it only 3 runs to score, 2 runs to score. But at the same time, like it just was, there was nothing you could do there. So look, Cincinnati is actually a good team, and they're right on the cusp of trying to make it into the wild card. But they also have not lost one series all year. They're the only team in baseball.
Yeah, they've never been swept.
They've never been swept this year, and the Dodgers had a chance to do it. The way I keep looking at it is that they won a series. That you're not going to win every single game. I would love for them to go on a nice long run, but the fact of the matter is they've won 3 of their last 5 series. It's starting to get better. You're seeing a lot of different. They're yesterday, notwithstanding, the offense has been better. The pitching has been better. There's a lot of good things that are still being seen.
Yeah, Freddie Freeman hitting his first home run since late June.
Yep,
was very encouraging. Although Parker, you're down there in San Diego right now, and for all the positives we've been talking about, the Padres have won 5 in a row, and don't look now, they are 3 games back in the division. Should we be concerned?
Yeah, enemy territory down here. A lot of drunk Padre fans as I was walking back to the hotel out here. Should we be concerned? I think that the answer is still no, because listen, Dodgers are figuring it out. Sure, Shohei gave us a little scare, but he just needs some electrolytes. Cincinnati won yesterday. Shout out to Spencer Steer from Long Beach Milliken. The Long Beach Milliken to Oregon pipeline is strong in ESPN LA. Shout out to our producer Graham in the back. He also had that pipeline, but it was just one of those games where they lost some key moments. But Freddie absolutely back. We are so back. The offense is kind of figuring out. We're seeing better swings, better at bats from everybody, and I think that's what we've been asking for all season long. It's gonna be good. I mean, Muncie's almost back. This is good, Marcus.
Yeah, no, for sure, definitely, and I think to your point, Freddie definitely being back, it was the home run obviously was great to see, but we were talking about before our chat that Freddie back to hitting line drives to left field that's when you feel like things are starting to work again, right? When he's taking pitches and he's going the other way and driving the ball hard to left field, that's a really, really encouraging sign. Speaking of driving the ball hard, I have not studied the first major league at bats of lots of people, but Greg, I would think the first major league at bat for Alex Freeland counts as maybe one of the most hard luck at bats you're ever going to have to start a career.
That was brutal, just total bad luck. But it was a good hit. Like it was 100 miles off the bat, and then he got another at bat later. He got on base later with a single, and then walked or got hit by a pitch. So he looked good.
Yeah.
He didn't look so great defensively. Dropped the ball that he probably very, very well should have had. But that's some nerves, which I totally understand too. So it seems like he could be a player here and could really hold down that third base spot until Max Muncy gets back.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, being a switch hitter means you don't necessarily have to take him out of the lineup depending on who's throwing on any given day. So very encouraging. Yeah, I mean your thoughts, Parker. I know you were busy down at SeaWorld. In fact, when I behind the curtain peek for all of you out there, when I logged on this morning here on the stream, the first thing I was greeted with was a picture of Cappy looking like he was shouting at orcas or something. I'm not sure.
That's what I had too.
So I'm not sure how that worked out for Cappy or the orcas. But I mean, look, I don't know how much you got to watch yesterday, Parker, but just your overall feelings on Alex Freeland, the fact that at least certainly on paper and watching it, he had a pretty good day yesterday.
Yeah. Yesterday was basically all SeaWorld in my world, all Devontae Adams. It was 3 hours of just orcas and Devontae Adams talk. So I got a little bit of Dodgers just as I was trying to check on the sidelines. But, it was seeing Freeland out there, I think was exactly what we wanted. We wanted just somebody who can hold down the fort. Muncy will be there, and we saw a rookie kind of have some rust, like you mentioned, Greg. But overall positives, because this is a team that just needs young bodies that can keep things going until everybody is fully healthy. And here we are. I mean, Freeland is one of those guys who he's a specific type of player. I think we should have seen a little bit better on the defensive end. Greg already mentioned that. But when it came to the plate, I saw what I thought I was going to see. I'm happy that he's ready for MLB pitching. Granted, it's early, but yep. I do believe that he's ready for MLB pitching. I think he's just a guy who's better at the plate than he is defensively.
Yeah, for sure. And like the numbers, he was hitting 253, I think, down there in AAA. But a guy that, as I said repeatedly on the broadcast, known for being very selective at the plate, having a good eye, walks a lot generally, which was sort of also funny that the very first pitch he sees at a major league game, he swings at, and right. Again, drilled it up. Just right at the first baseman and lined into a double play. So just a little bit of bad luck there. So anyway, the Dodgers win 2 out of 3 in Cincinnati. They do drop the finale by a score of 5-2. I do want to ask Greg, any 2 outings for Blake Trinan, neither one have been particularly clean. Any concerns there? Right?
No, it's just brushing off the rust. I think he'll be fine. He needs to come on more outings out there, and hopefully is. Who knows? He is a guy that goes up and down, but he should be. I believe that he will be fine. So yes, I'm not worried about him yet. Now, if he has a couple more of those bad outings, then we can have another conversation. But as of right now, I'm not worried. Yeah. Can we get to some of this trade deadline?
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going. I was just buttoning up the game last night. Now we're gonna get to some of the trade deadline talk. The Dodgers, part of a 3-team deal that went down kind of late last night. It involved themselves, the Tampa Bay Rays, who they are on their way to go play for 3 games, and the Cincinnati Reds, who they are just leaving after playing 3 games. So look at that, all that kind of synergy there. The Dodgers get a catcher in Ben Rortvedt. And a couple of pitchers, right-hander Paul Gervasi, who Parker you learned is 6'10".
So tall.
So, in case JJ Redick needs some low post help in the offseason, maybe they can call Gervasi a little bit. And then left-hander Adam Saranowski. Rortvedt, Saranowski, kind of minor league guys. Gervaisi, a guy who could help at the back end of the bullpen, potentially the middle part of the bullpen there. The Rays get Hunter Fiducia, who a longtime Dodger farmhand who's very much blocked in the organization between Will Smith and Dalton Rushing. They get right-hander pitcher Brian Van Bell, and the Rays, or the Reds rather, get the right-hander Zach Luttrell. So, I mean, Parker, aside from knowing that one of these guys is enormously tall, your immediate reaction when you saw this trade go down?
Well, the immediate reaction is you recognize the name. We've talked about Hunter for a while. I think that, the three names that we thought could potentially get moved when it comes to prospects were either Dalton, Hunter, or, I mean, maybe you look at one of the pitchers here and there. But you didn't think Freeland was going to go. You didn't think Josue was going to go. And I think that's the biggest thing. So obviously there's no room in the catcher's department when it comes to the Dodgers. So good move overall. If you can get something out of these two bullpen guys and then you got a catcher back, I think that, Freeman knows what he's doing. I'm not going to complain. We knew there wasn't going to be any massive moves when it came to some of the guys like Class A. Well, obviously on his end, some bleak going down. But you saw a lot of the other teams go after Duran and some of the bigger bullpen guys that we mentioned before. So, sure, that didn't happen on the Dodgers end. Whether Dodger fans are going to be disappointed or not, that's not on me to, really react to. I think that this is a smart, small move when it comes to the Dodgers. I think this is good, Greg. Overall, 6 out of 10 in my books.
They added on to another deal and they got some pitching help that may or may not be up this year. I mean, the Gervais guy is interesting that he did get called up by the Rays and he is 6'10", but he throws from a lower angle. So he has like a 40% strikeout rate, which is insane. That's AAA. So, we'll see how that translates into the majors. I think it's more so that we're seeing, I think most Dodger fans and all of us here are seeing everybody else go out and get all these closers. Now Mason Miller is gone. He's gone to the Padres. Yeah. That Duran's gone. He's with the Phillies. Helsley, who I really liked, is now with the Mets. All these dudes are going to different places. So we know that we have a problem in the back end of our bullpen, and especially with what you were saying, Marcus, with Blake Trinan, that he has not been great yet. Who knows if he does get to that spot or not? Getting a closer is extremely important. Getting more back-end bullpen help is extremely important. What the Dodgers do here and in this day before 3 o'clock, they need to do something because everybody is getting better around them. I don't think they should give up. The Mason Miller thing is a little bit crazy to me, Marcus. They gave up their number 1, 3, 13, and 17 prospect for a reliever. That's too much for me. I get wanting to go for it, and I have to give credit to San Diego for always going for it, just blowing up their farm system for whatever they could possibly get. But that's a lot to me. I know prospects are suspects until they actually get there, but they're actually going for it. And now it comes down to Stephen Kwan, I think, for the most part. Stephen Kwan is the only thing out there that can really be that helpful. And it's between the Dodgers and, guess who? The Padres. And if the Padres give up their number 2, 4, 7, 18, 19, 37, 26 prospect like they do every year, then they might actually end up getting him. And plus they can add Dylan Cease. They can add Robert Suarez too. So we are not looking good for some of these bigger names. And that if we do nothing in this trade deadline, I think I'm going to be disappointed. I can probably spin into not be, but we know there needs to be help because I can't have Michael Conforto and Teoscar Hernandez as your corner outfielders. Something has to change.
Yeah, and I think here's the thing, because I feel like yesterday and a couple days ago we were sort of like, all right, look, hey, guys are coming back, guys are getting healthy. This is sort of like adding at the trade deadline without having to give up any assets. But then when you see your prime competition go out and load up, right? I mean, when you look at the National League, right? You're looking at the Mets really loading up that bullpen, right? They go out, they get Helsley, they get Tyler Rogers from San Francisco, who's another guy that, has been a problem for the Dodgers in the past. You see the Phillies go out and get Duran. You see now the Padres going out to get Mason Miller. These are teams that you are likely going to have to contend with. And at least one, maybe more than one, are teams you're going to have to go through to get back to and win a World Series. And so I think that makes everybody a little bit nervous. to your point, the pitching, I think all the pitching names that were of interest are now off the board. And so it really is, can they go get Stephen Kwan to bolster that outfield and then hope that the pitching arms come back and look the way they're supposed to look for the remainder of the season. I will say with this trade that they did make, it sounds like, just doing a little bit of quick research and then they're checking out the social media feed of our pal Bruce Kuntz. Saranowski seems like kind of the prize here, in that he's a guy, he's in the minors right now, but has the sort of makeup, has the sort of stuff that could really help him develop into a major league starter of some decent caliber. It's still a ways away from that happening. And, guys, they gave up Hunter Fiducia, who we're all very familiar with, but with Dalton Rushing being at the major league level, with Will Smith being locked in for a long-term deal, the road was very much blocked for Fiducia. So this just seems like the Dodgers, telling him to be free and hopefully find happiness somewhere else, because it wasn't going to happen here.
Also, that kind of signals to me that Dalton Rushing not being traded, which is very interesting at the same time, because if you don't trade Dalton Rushing, what's he going to do next year? Because Will Smith is there. I can't. I know Will Smith. I think I saw somewhere yesterday that Will Smith came up as third baseman, but I can't see that move happening that easily, especially with Max Muncy only making like $10 million like next year. So that's super cheap. You're not going to move off of that for no reason, especially if he comes back and is hit a 30 home run guy again. So yeah, it's interesting to keep on to Dalton Rushing unless they're going to move him for something else. But then who's your backup catcher? Is whoever this guy is that they got from Tampa Bay that bats like that bats like under 100. I don't know. It just seems odd.
I mean,
you can bring Austin Barnes back. He's probably still
he's
AAA.
Yeah, I mean, it sounded like, just from everything I was reading last night, Rortvedt is kind of, he's going to be the new Fiducia, right? I mean, he's a guy who's he's 27. He'll be 28 in late September. Has never really stuck in any real way at the major league level. He's a guy that has some experience in the minor leagues that, potentially, I guess, can be a quality backstop. So I guess it's kind of just a 1-for-1 swap, essentially, in that regard.
Yeah. I think, Marcus, you mentioned Saranowski's the draw here.
Yeah.
You could potentially, you got a 6'5" lefty with a nice slider. I mean, he's touching 97 with the fastball. So there's something there that the prior pixie dust could potentially make happen, so where we see him pretty quickly out here, especially with, how the bullpen's getting taxed. So I think that's the biggest draw here. There could be a little magic that's made, but also at the same time, it's just one of those deals you added on to something, and we might see something within these next few hours. And Greg, we'll react. You guys will be here on ESPN LA the whole time.
Yep.
It'll be a fun end of the deadline.
So real fast, there's a note from Dennis Lin that Dodger Blue retweeted from. He is a Padres and MLB writer for The Athletic, and he said that the Guardians asked for Stephen Kwan, included Leo DeVries from the Padres and more. So that means to get Stephen Kwan, the Dodgers are going to have to give up a lot. It's probably going to be a guy like DePaula. It could be a Zaire Hope. It could be even Dalton Rushing. They're going to want high-level prospects. So if they do get Kwan, be prepared for their minor league system to be kind of a little bit gutted.
Yeah. That's what happens when you're forced to make deals at the deadline. The sellers have the leverage, especially in a market where there are so many buyers. So we'll see what happens here. Of course, stick around on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. First Pitch coming up next with Travis and DeMarco and Greg Bergman. We'll be keeping tabs on it all throughout the day. Dodgers off today as they travel down to Tampa. Look, I've seen in the chat some pessimism that people think the Padres will be in first place by the end of the week. Stay positive, y'all. Stay positive. The Dodgers have won. They're winning series right now. The Padres have gotten hot, no doubt about it. Won 6 in a row, but losses happen. So let's keep the faith as we get into the start of August. That'll do it for us here on the Blue Review, presented by LAX. Appreciate you always hanging around with us. Stay tuned here on the channel. Enjoy another view of Mission Bay there in San Diego. For Parker, for Greg, I am Marcus. Enjoy the day, everybody. Back with you tomorrow, 8:30 to 8:55, right here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. See you then now.
See ya.